right. So you're thinking about a Grand Canyon adventure.
Yeah.
Maybe you've even pictured yourself standing on the rim feeling that vastness,
Oh, yeah.
But planning a trip to such an iconic destination,
Yeah.
it can be overwhelming.
It can.
So imagine experiencing the Grand Canyon from a really unique vantage point,
Okay.
staying right on the rim at the historic Bright Angel Lodge.
Oh, wow.
Have you ever heard of that?
I have heard of Bright Angel Lodge, yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So this isn't just ANY
Right.
Lodge.
Yeah.
It was designed in 1935 by this architect, Mary E.J. Coulter,
Oh, wow.
who was known for these incredible works, blending buildings seamlessly into their natural surroundings.
Yes.
Have you seen some of her work before?
I have, yeah. A lot of the classic national park structures that have that rustic charm to them.
Exact.
And really complement the landscape.
Yeah, they fit right in.
Yeah, they do.
And the Bright Angel Lodge is a prime example of that.
Okay.
Perched just steps from the south rim, you're practically waking up in the heart of the canyon.
Right.
You're not just visiting the Grand Canyon, you're immersed in it.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds like stepping back in time,
Right.
experiencing the canyon the way those early travelers did.
Mm-hmm.
But what's it really like to stay there?
Yeah.
What are the rooms like?
Yeah.
Does it live up to the hype?
Well,
Well,
we're lucky here because we have some first-hand insights from Darren,
oh,
a
good.
travel blogger who stayed there in January of 2018
Okay.
and documented his experience on his blog,
Cool.
OdysseyCamper.
OdysseyCamper,
Yeah.
January.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
it is.
Most people think of summer for a Grand Canyon trip,
Right.
but I'm curious about what a winter visit is like.
Yeah.
What's that entail?
Well, he actually found it to be a fantastic time to go.
Oh.
Fewer crowds and a chance to see the canyon dusted with snow, which is a pretty magical sight.
Yeah.
Plus, he scored a great deal on a room
Oh,
at the Bucky Lodge,
okay.
which is part of the Bright Angel complex,
Mhm.
for around $70 a night.
$70.
Yeah,
That's amazing,
it is.
especially considering the location.
Yeah, prime real estate right there.
But let's talk about the lodge itself.
Sure.
What are the rooms like?
Yeah.
Is it all rustic,
Mm-hmm.
or are there modern comforts?
It's a mix, actually, which
Right.
I think adds to the unique character of the place. You'll find a range of room styles.
Okay.
Some with private bathrooms and showers, others with shared facilities down the hall.
Oh, okay.
Not all rooms have those modern amenities that you might expect in a typical hotel.
Right.
Yeah.
Shared bathrooms might be a deal breaker for some.
Yeah, I mean, for some, yeah, of course.
What did Darren say about the overall cleanliness?
Well, he specifically mentioned how impressed he was
Oh, good.
with the cleanliness and upkeep, even in the shared bathrooms.
Okay, so they're well maintained.
Yeah, it seems they take great care to maintain the place.
Good, good.
So, no need to worry about that.
That's essential.
Oh.
No matter how rustic the setting.
Absolutely.
Speaking of setting,
Okay.
imagine
Yeah.
ending a day of exploring the canyon
Hmm.
by cozying up in the lodge's restaurant with a delicious meal,
Sounds pretty good.
right?
Yeah.
You're in luck.
Okay.
Right in the main lodge
Mm.
is the Harvey House Tavern.
Oh, nice.
And Darren raved about the food,
Okay.
especially the buffalo wings.
Oh, wow.
Apparently they're legendary.
They're legendary, the buffalo wings.
Buffalo wings by the canyon.
Yeah.
I can already picture myself digging into a plate of those after a long hike.
Yeah, sounds perfect.
Anything else notable about the dining experience?
Well, he mentioned that they have live music, which I think adds to the warm and inviting atmosphere.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it seems like the perfect place to unwind and soak in that ambiance.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, we've covered lodging and food,
Right.
but let's be honest.
Okay.
The real star of the show is the Grand Canyon itself. What's it like for hiking enthusiasts staying at the Bright Angel Lodge?
Well, one of the best things about staying there
Okay.
is that you are literally right on the rim, steps away from iconic trails like the Bright Angel Trail.
Oh, wow.
So convenient.
You can roll out of bed and be on the trail in minutes.
Pretty much.
Since Darren was there in January.
Right.
Did he attempt any hikes?
He did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And what were the conditions like?
Well, he gave the Bright Angel Trail a try,
Okay.
but encountered some ice, which is a good reminder that winter in the canyon requires extra preparation and caution.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a seasoned winter hiker,
Right.
it's important to respect the elements
Yeah.
and be prepared for the unexpected.
Yeah.
What about trails that might be a bit more manageable,
Sure.
especially during the winter?
Well, he also explored a section of the Rim Trail, which is this 13-mile paved path stretching along the South Rim.
Okay.
It offers stunning views. And it's accessible to everyone, even those using wheelchairs.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's wonderful that there's an option for everyone to experience the canyon's beauty,
Right.
regardless of their hiking ability.
Exactly.
Did he mention any wildlife encounters along the rim trail?
He said to keep an eye out for mule deer and elk, especially if you're moving quietly.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, imagine seeing those majestic creatures in their natural habitat with the vast canyon as their backdrop.
Yeah, that's a memory I'd want to capture.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've got iconic trails, potential wildlife encounters.
Right.
What else makes the Bright Angel Lodge such a special choice for experiencing the Grand Canyon?
Well, what's interesting is that he became a huge advocate for visiting the canyon during the winter.
Okay.
He found it to be a completely different experience.
Okay.
Fewer crowds, snow-dusted scenery, and a sense of serenity that you wouldn't find during peak season.
I bet.
Yeah.
It sounds truly magical,
Yeah.
like having the canyon all to yourself.
Yeah.
But let's get practical for a moment.
Sure.
If someone's convinced and wants to book a stay,
Okay.
how do they go about it?
Well, it's actually quite straightforward.
Okay.
You can book directly through the Grand Canyon Lodge's website, which is managed by Xanterra.
Okay.
They also offer a phone number for those who prefer a more personal touch.
So we've got the website and the phone option.
Yeah.
Now let's talk parking.
Okay.
I imagine it can be a challenge at a popular destination like the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, for sure.
What's the situation like at the Bright Angel Lodge?
Well, here's some good news.
Okay.
Parking is free for all national park visitors with a paid entrance fee.
Free parking.
Yes.
That's always a welcome perk.
Always.
Did Darren mention anything specific about parking for lodge guests?
He did bring up an interesting observation.
Okay.
He saw people seemingly stealth camping in the parking lot, right in front of the lodge.
Stealth camping at the Grand Canyon.
Yes.
That's a bold move.
It is a bold move.
But I guess during the off-season, they might have gotten away with it.
I think so, yeah.
What's the official stance on overnight parking?
Officially, overnight parking is not permitted in the lodge parking lot unless you are a registered guest.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Welcome back to our exploration of the Bright Angel Lodge and experiencing the magic of the Grand Canyon, especially during the winter.
Yeah, we're picking up right where we left off, delving deeper into the practical side of planning this Grand Canyon getaway.
Exactly. So we've already uncovered some fascinating insights about the lodge itself.
Yeah.
Its history, the unique appeal of a winter visit,
Right.
all that good stuff.
And those legendary buffalo wings
Oh, yeah, I can't forget about those.
at the Harvey House Tavern.
Oh, so good.
But now it's time to get down to the nitty-gritty of actually getting there and making the most of your time.
Yes, let's get down to the logistics.
Okay, so let's start with transportation.
Okay,
How do you actually get to the South Rim
right.
where the Bright Angel Lodge is located?
Yeah, because it's not exactly a quick jaunt for most people, right?
Right.
So what are the main options for getting there?
Yeah.
Well, for those who love a good road trip, driving is always an option.
Okay.
The South Rim is easily accessible by car via several major highways.
A road trip to the Grand Canyon, that sounds pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Imagine cruising along, taking in those vast desert landscapes.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
But for those who might not be up for a long drive, what are some other ways to get to the South Rim?
Well, flying's another popular choice.
Okay.
The closest major airport is Phoenix Sky Harbor International Airport, PHX, about a 3.5-hour drive from the Grand Canyon.
Okay, so even if you fly, you'll likely need to rent a car for that last leg of the journey.
Most likely, yes.
Are there any shuttle services available between the airport and the park?
There are, yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Companies like Arizona Shuttle and Groom Transportation,
Okay.
they offer shuttle services between the airport and the South Rim. So that's a convenient option, especially if you prefer not to rent a car.
Yeah, shuttles are great,
Yeah.
especially for solo travelers or those who just want to relax and enjoy the scenery without the stress of driving. Yeah,
Absolutely. Just sit back and enjoy the ride.
exactly.
Yeah.
Now, what about parking once you arrive at the South Rim?
Okay.
Is it a free-for-all, or are there designated spots for guests staying at the Bright Angel Lodge?
So here's the good news.
Okay.
Parking is free for all national park visitors with a paid entrance fee.
Oh,
And yes,
all right.
there are parking lots specifically for guests staying at the Bright Angel Lodge and other South Rim lodgings.
Free parking at the Grand Canyon, that's a bonus for sure.
Yeah.
But I imagine those lots can fill up quickly, especially during peak season.
Oh, definitely.
Any tips for securing a spot?
It's always wise to arrive early, especially if you're checking in during a busy time.
Okay.
Yeah. And remember Darren's observation about stealth camping in the parking lot?
Oh, yeah, those daring souls roughing it in the parking lot.
A little too adventurous maybe for some, but hey.
Yeah, but officially overnight parking isn't allowed unless you're a registered guest, right?
Right, exactly.
It's best to stick to the designated campgrounds if you're planning on camping.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of camping,
Okay.
are you intrigued by the idea of experiencing the canyon under the stars?
Oh, absolutely. Who wouldn't be?
Right, sleeping under those vast star-filled skies, surrounded by those canyon walls.
Yeah.
It's got to be pretty incredible.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah.
It is.
So what are the options for camping near the South Rim?
Well, there are several campgrounds within Grand Canyon National Park,
Okay.
both on the South and North Rims.
Okay.
Mather Campground and Desert View Campground are popular choices on the South Rim,
Okay.
offering a range of options from basic tent sites to RV hookups.
So whether you're a seasoned camper or new to the experience, there's a spot for you.
There is, yeah, something for everyone.
Are reservations required for these campgrounds, or can you just show up and hope for the best?
Reservations are highly recommended, especially during peak season.
Okay.
And you can book campsites through the National Park Service website or by calling their reservation line.
Okay.
It's always better to be safe than sorry,
Yeah, for sure.
especially when it comes to securing your spot.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
Now, let's move on to another crucial aspect of trip planning, and that is packing.
Packing, yes.
What are some absolute must-haves for a Grand Canyon adventure?
Okay.
Especially if you're staying at the Bright Angel Lodge during the winter.
Well, packing for the Grand Canyon can be tricky,
Yeah.
especially in the winter, because the weather can be unpredictable. So the key is to be prepared for anything.
Layers.
Layers. Right?
Layers, layers, layers.
Yes.
That's my motto for any outdoor adventure.
It's a good motto.
So, what specific clothing items would you recommend?
Think versatile.
Okay.
So pack a mix of short-sleeved and long-sleeved shirts.
Okay.
Okay.
Shorts
Gotcha.
and a warm jacket or fleece.
Right.
A hat and gloves are essential for the winter as temperatures can drop dramatically at night.
Yeah, yeah. And what about footwear?
Okay.
Are
Like-
hiking boots an absolute necessity?
They are highly recommended,
Okay.
especially if you plan on exploring any trails beyond the Rim Trail.
Okay.
The terrain can be rugged and uneven,
Yeah.
so sturdy footwear with good ankle support is essential.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So if I'm picturing myself conquering the Bright Angel Trail, hiking boots are a must.
Hiking boots are a must, yes.
But what about for those who might stick to that paved rim trail
Yeah.
or just wander around the lodge area?
Sneakers are perfectly fine for the Rim Trail.
Okay.
You know, it's paved and relatively flat.
Right.
But if you plan on venturing off the paved path at all,
Yeah.
I would still recommend hiking boots for safety and comfort.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Now, besides clothing and footwear, what other essentials should be on our packing list for the Grand Canyon?
Sunscreen is a must.
Yeah.
No matter the season.
Yeah,
The sun is intense at that altitude,
right.
and you'll be spending a lot of time outdoors, so protecting your skin is crucial.
Sun protection is so important.
It is.
And don't forget sunglasses and a hat with a brim for extra protection.
Yes, good call.
What about staying hydrated?
Okay.
I know it's crucial when you're hiking, but is water readily available at the lodge and on the trails?
Water is available at the lodge,
Okay.
but carrying your own reusable water bottle is essential for hiking.
Right.
Yeah, some trails have water filling stations,
Okay.
but relying solely on those is risky.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's always best to be prepared and carry enough water for the duration of your hike.
Yeah, for sure.
What about snacks?
Okay.
Are there places to grab a bite along the trails, or should we pack our own?
There aren't any restaurants or snack bars along the trails,
Gotcha.
so packing snacks is crucial, especially for longer hikes.
Yeah,
Trail mix, granola bars, fruit, those are all good options.
those are my go-tos.
Yeah, good choices.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we've got clothing, footwear, sun protection, water, and snacks covered.
We're getting there.
What about capturing those incredible canyon views?
Oh,
Any photography tips or gear recommendations?
Bring a camera.
Of course.
It's a must.
Whether it's a smartphone or a DSLR,
Yeah,
the Grand Canyon offers endless photographic opportunities.
it does.
If you're using a more advanced camera,
Okay.
Consider bringing a variety of lenses for different perspectives,
Good idea.
like a wide-angle lens
Yes.
for those expansive canyon vistas.
For those big sweeping shots.
Oh, I can just imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And a telephoto lens.
Yeah.
For zooming in on those distant rock formations and maybe even spotting some wildlife.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
What about other photography accessories?
A tripod is always helpful for those steady shots, especially if you're shooting in low light or you want to experiment with those long exposures.
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
And don't forget extra batteries and memory cards.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You don't want to run out of juice or storage space in the middle of capturing those once-in-a-lifetime moments.
No, not at all.
No.
Speaking of once-in-a-lifetime moments,
Okay.
let's talk about something that's on many people's Grand Canyon bucket list. Mule rides.
Mule rides, yes.
You can actually ride a mule down to the bottom of the canyon.
You can?
I can imagine myself on the back of a mule, slowly winding down those steep trails, taking in those breathtaking views.
It's amazing.
But let's be realistic.
Oh, okay.
Mule rides aren't for everyone.
Right.
Are there any restrictions or things to consider before booking a ride?
Definitely some things to keep in mind.
Okay.
Mule rides are extremely popular
Okay.
and require reservations well in advance, sometimes up to 15 months.
15 months. Wow.
Yeah,
That's a testament to how popular these rides are.
it is.
Yeah, it's not something you can just decide to do on a whim.
No, not at all. Definitely plan ahead.
What about physical limitations?
Okay.
Are there any weight or fitness requirements?
There are,
Okay.
for the safety of both riders and animals.
Right.
There are weight and fitness requirements, so riders must weigh less than 200 pounds fully clothed and be in good physical condition to handle those demands of the ride.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not just a leisurely stroll through the park.
No, it's not.
You're traversing some pretty rugged terrain on the back of an animal.
It's an adventure.
And speaking of the ride itself,
Okay.
what should riders pack for a mule trip?
Packing for a mule ride is similar to packing for a hike,
Okay.
but with a few additions.
Okay.
So water, sun protection, snacks, camera,
Got it.
those are all essentials.
Okay.
You'll also need a small day pack to carry those items, as you won't have access to your luggage during the ride.
Okay, good to know.
Mm-hmm.
So we've covered transportation, packing essentials, and even mule riding tips. What other practical advice do you have for someone planning a stay at the Bright Angel Lodge,
Okay.
especially during the winter?
It's crucial to remember that the Bright Angel Lodge is a historic property.
Right.
It doesn't have all the bells and whistles of a modern hotel.
Right, we touched on that earlier.
Yes, we did.
Not all rooms have private bathrooms
Right.
or modern amenities,
Yeah.
but for many, that's part of the charm.
It is?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a chance to experience the Grand Canyon in a more authentic, historic setting.
Exactly. It's about embracing the simplicity and that unique character of the lodge.
Right.
But it's good to be aware of those limitations before you arrive.
Right. Manage those expectations.
Yes, you can manage those expectations and pack accordingly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about staying connected while at the Grand Canyon.
Okay.
Is there reliable cell service at the South Rim? Or should we be prepared to unplug and disconnect?
Cell service can be spotty in certain areas of the canyon, but it's generally reliable at the South Rim, including the Bright Angel Lodge.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
Always reassuring to have that lifeline if needed.
Yeah, just in case.
But I have to admit,
Yeah.
there's also something appealing about the idea of disconnecting from the digital world and fully immersing yourself in the natural beauty of the canyon.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So if you do need to connect, you'll likely be able to find a signal at the lodge.
Most likely, yes.
All right, so we've covered transportation, packing, mule rides, and even cell service.
We're getting there.
What other practical considerations should our listeners be aware of before embarking on their Grand Canyon adventure?
One thing that often gets overlooked is the altitude.
Oh, yeah.
So the South Rim sits at an elevation of around 7,000 feet,
Okay.
which can affect some people,
Yeah.
especially those not used to higher elevations.
Yeah, altitude sickness.
Altitude sickness.
It's definitely something to be mindful of.
Yeah.
Especially for those traveling from lower elevations.
Yeah.
So what are some of the signs of altitude sickness, and what can you do to prevent it?
So headache, fatigue, nausea, and shortness of breath.
Oh, yeah.
Those are all common symptoms.
Yeah.
And the best way to prevent altitude sickness is to acclimate slowly.
Right.
So if possible, spend a day or two at a lower elevation before ascending to the rim,
Okay.
and make sure to drink plenty of fluids to stay hydrated.
Right.
Yeah, those are good tips.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
It's better to be prepared than to let altitude sickness derail your trip.
Definitely.
Now let's talk about another important aspect of any trip, especially one to a place as grand as the Grand Canyon, and that is safety.
Safety, yes, very important.
So what are some key safety tips to keep in mind when exploring the Grand Canyon?
Safety's paramount, especially when hiking in the canyon.
Yeah.
The trails can be challenging and the environment can be unforgiving.
Right.
So first and foremost, always stay on designated trails.
Right. That's super important.
Yeah, going off trail can be dangerous and damage that fragile ecosystem.
It's so important to respect those trails and the environment.
Yeah, absolutely.
What else should hikers keep in mind?
Always carry plenty of water.
Okay.
And be aware of the weather conditions.
Right.
The canyon can experience extreme temperature swings,
Yeah.
and thunderstorms can roll in quickly.
Yeah.
So always check the forecast before you head out and be prepared for changing conditions.
That's great advice.
Yeah,
Being prepared is key to having a safe and enjoyable experience.
absolutely.
Anything else we should be mindful of?
Let someone know your hiking plans
Okay.
before you set out, especially if you're hiking alone.
Right.
And of course, be mindful of the canyon's edge.
Yes.
The views are incredible, but it's crucial to maintain a safe distance from the rim at all times.
Absolutely. Safety should always be a top priority when exploring the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, definitely.
Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about something that's on everyone's mind when planning a trip,
Yeah.
and that is budgeting.
Budgeting, yes.
What kind of costs should travelers anticipate for a stay at the Bright Angel Lodge,
Okay.
especially during the winter?
So, as we mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
lodging costs vary depending on the season and the type of room you choose.
Right.
During peak season, rooms at the Bright Angel Lodge can range from around $150 to $250 a night.
Okay.
However, as Darren discovered, you can find amazing deals during the off-season,
Right.
potentially snagging a room for under $100.
Wow, that's a significant difference.
It is.
So for budget-conscious travelers, the off-season, like winter, is definitely the way to go.
Yeah, I would say so.
What about other expenses like food and activities?
Food costs are comparable to what you'd expect in any tourist destination.
Okay.
Expect to pay around $15 to $25 per person for a meal at the Harvey House Tavern.
Okay.
Activities like mule rides and guided tours
Right.
vary in price depending on the duration and the type of experience.
Okay, so it sounds like you can have a memorable Grand Canyon experience without breaking the bank,
Yeah.
especially if you're strategic about your planning.
Yeah,
And consider visiting during those quieter months.
absolutely. Plan ahead.
Now, before we wrap up this part of our exploration,
Okay.
let's address a topic that might pique the interest of our more adventurous listeners: camping.
Camping, yes.
We've touched on the designated campgrounds,
Right.
but let's delve into what makes camping at the Grand Canyon so special.
It's amazing.
Imagine falling asleep under a blanket of stars, surrounded by the stillness of the canyon.
Ah, yeah, it's magical.
Yeah. What are the main draws of camping at the Grand Canyon, and what should potential campers know before pitching their tents?
The main draw is that unparalleled connection to nature.
Yeah.
You're immersed in the canyon's environment,
Right.
experiencing its sounds,
Right.
solitude,
Yeah.
in a way that's simply not possible from a hotel room.
It's about stripping away those modern comforts and embracing the rawness of the landscape, you know?
Yeah.
So what should potential campers keep in mind when planning their trip?
First and foremost, research the campgrounds thoroughly.
Okay.
Each campground has its own character,
Okay.
amenities, and regulations.
Right, because some might be more suitable for RVs,
Right.
while others might be perfect for tent camping.
Absolutely, yeah. Good point.
What about reserving campsites?
Okay.
I imagine they can get booked up pretty quickly, especially during popular seasons.
Oh, yeah. Reservations are highly recommended,
Okay.
especially during peak season.
Okay.
You can usually book campsites online through the National Park Service website or by calling their reservation line.
Okay.
Don't leave it to chance, especially if you have a specific campground in mind.
That's a good reminder.
Yeah.
So whether you're envisioning yourself in a cozy cabin at the Bright Angel Lodge or snuggled in your sleeping bag under the stars, planning is key to a successful Grand Canyon adventure.
Absolutely. Planning is key.
And remember,
Yes.
this is just a taste of what awaits you at the Grand Canyon.
Oh, yeah. We've only just scratched the surface.
In our final part, we'll dive in to the heart of the experience,
Yes.
exploring those iconic hiking trails.
Let me wait.
We'll discuss everything from choosing the right trails for your fitness level to safety tips and essential gear.
All the important stuff.
So stay tuned for part 3, where we'll lace up our hiking boots and hit those magnificent trails.
I'm ready. Are you?
Oh, I'm ready. I'm so ready. All right, adventurers, we're back for the final leg of our journey, exploring the magic of the Grand Canyon and the historic Bright Angel Lodge.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the lodge's unique charm and the allure of a winter visit to the practicalities of transportation, packing, and even mule rides.
We've even touched on the joys and challenges of camping under those incredible canyon skies. But now it's time to lace up those hiking boots and hit the trails.
That's right. Because no Grand Canyon experience is truly complete without venturing into its depths, feeling the scale and grandeur firsthand.
It's one thing to admire the canyon from the rim, but to actually hike among those towering rock formations, to feel the energy of the place. That's a whole other level of awe-inspiring.
Exactly. And luckily for guests staying at the Bright Angel Lodge, you're practically on the doorstep of some of the most iconic trails in the park.
Talk about convenience. So let's dive into the world of Grand Canyon trails. What are some must-hike trails for those exploring the South Rim?
Well, no conversation about Grand Canyon trails is complete without mentioning the legendary Bright Angel Trail.
Of course. The trail that shares its name with the lodge itself, it's like destiny for hikers staying there.
It truly is. The Bright Angel Trail is one of the most popular and well-maintained trails in the canyon, descending all the way to the Colorado River.
All the way to the river. That's a serious undertaking. What kind of distance and elevation change are we talking about?
The full trail is a strenuous 9.5 miles each way, with an elevation change of over 4,300 feet.
That's a challenging hike, no doubt. I imagine the views along the way are worth every step, though.
Absolutely. The Bright Angel Trail offers stunning panoramic vistas at every turn. You'll traverse different ecological zones, from the ponderosa pine forests at the rim to the desert scrub at the bottom, each with its unique beauty.
It must feel like stepping back in time, witnessing the layers of history etched into the canyon walls. But for those of us who might not be ready for a 19-mile hike, are there shorter options on the Bright Angel Trail?
Absolutely. You don't have to hike the entire trail to experience its beauty. There are several rest houses along the way, offering opportunities to take breaks, refuel, and turn around whenever you've reached your limit.
That's good to know. It's great to have the flexibility to customize your hike based on your fitness level and time constraints. What about other notable trails on the South Rim? What would you recommend for someone looking for a different perspective?
The South Kaibab Trail is another popular choice, known for its dramatic and unobstructed views of the canyon.
Unobstructed views. That sounds incredible. What about the difficulty level? Is it comparable to the Bright Angel Trail?
The South Kaibab Trail is generally considered slightly more challenging than the Bright Angel Trail, mainly because it's steeper and doesn't have as many rest houses along the way.
So perhaps not the best choice for a first-time Grand Canyon hiker or someone looking for a more leisurely experience.
It depends on your fitness level and hiking experience. If you're in good shape and comfortable with steep descents, the South Kaibab Trail is definitely doable. But for beginners or those seeking a more gradual hike, the Bright Angel Trail might be a better starting point.
It's all about choosing the right trail for your comfort level and abilities. Now, besides these iconic trails, are there any lesser-known gems you'd recommend exploring? Perhaps something a bit off the beaten path?
Absolutely. If you're looking for a shorter and less strenuous hike with incredible views and a unique twist, the Trail of Time is a fantastic option.
Trail of Time. The name itself sparks curiosity. What makes this trail so special?
Well, it's more than just a trail. It's a journey through the Grand Canyon's vast geologic history. The Trail of Time runs along the paved rim trail, offering breathtaking canyon vistas while showcasing millions of years of geologic time.
So you're not just hiking, you're walking through time. I'm intrigued. How does the trail showcase the canyon's geologic history?
It features interpretive exhibits, rock samples, and bronze markers representing different periods in the canyon's formation. Each step you take represents a leap back in time, allowing you to grasp the immense scale of geologic time.
That's fascinating. It's like an outdoor museum combined with a scenic hike. It sounds like the perfect blend of education and exploration.
Exactly. It's a fantastic way to engage with the canyon on multiple levels, appreciating its beauty while gaining a deeper understanding of the forces that shaped it.
Okay, we've got a solid list of trails to explore, from the challenging Bright Angel and South Kaibab trails to the more accessible and educational Trail of Time. Now let's shift gears to safety. What are some essential safety tips for anyone venturing into the Grand Canyon, regardless of their hiking experience?
Safety is paramount when exploring the Grand Canyon, so let's emphasize some key points. First and foremost, always carry plenty of water. Dehydration is a serious risk in the canyon's arid environment.
Hydration is absolutely crucial, especially when you're exerting yourself on a hike. What other safety precautions should we keep in mind?
Be prepared for sudden weather changes. The canyon can experience extreme temperature swings, and thunderstorms can appear out of nowhere. Check the forecast before you head out and pack accordingly.
Good point. It's always wise to check the weather and be prepared for the unexpected. What about staying on the trails? Is that an important safety consideration?
Absolutely. Staying on designated trails is crucial for your safety and for protecting the canyon's delicate ecosystem. Going off trail can lead to disorientation, injuries, and damage to fragile plants and animal habitats.
Respect the trails, respect the environment. That should be every hiker's mantra. What about encounters with wildlife? Are there any specific precautions we should take?
Always be aware of your surroundings and maintain a safe distance from any wildlife you encounter. Don't approach or feed animals, as this can disrupt their natural behavior and potentially put you at risk.
Admire them from afar and let them be wild. That's the best way to ensure both your safety and the well-being of the animals. Now, what if, despite all our precautions, someone finds themselves in a dangerous situation on the trail? What emergency resources are available?
There are emergency phones at various points along the more popular trails. You can also call 911 from your cell phone if you have service. If you're hiking with a group, make sure everyone knows what to do in case of an emergency. It's all about planning ahead and being prepared.
That's reassuring to know. It's always better to err on the side of caution and be ready for any eventuality. So, as we wrap up our exploration of the Bright Angel Lodge and the Grand Canyon, what are some final thoughts you'd like to leave our listeners with as they prepare for their own adventures?
I think the most important thing is to approach the Grand Canyon with a sense of reverence and respect. This is a place of immense power and beauty, shaped over millions of years. Take the time to truly appreciate its vastness and the forces that created it. Hike responsibly, stay safe, and create memories that will last a lifetime.
Beautifully said. The Grand Canyon is a destination that stays with you long after you've left. Whether you're staying at the historic Bright Angel Lodge or exploring the trails, it's an experience that humbles and inspires. So if you're dreaming of a Grand Canyon adventure, consider making the Bright Angel Lodge your base camp. You'll be steps away from iconic trails, immersed in history, and surrounded by the raw beauty of one of the world's most incredible natural wonders.
And don't forget to check out Darren's blog, OdysseyCamper, for stunning photos and more details about his experience, especially during those quieter winter months.
Until next time, fellow adventurers, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep seeking those awe-inspiring moments that make life an adventure.